The Harmattan wind shrieked through Benin City, dry and merciless, the night Osas Igbinedion's life was swallowed by darkness. At 22, Osas was a lean figure with haunted eyes and a beaded bracelet, onyx and bone, tied tight around his wrist, a gift from his mother, a whispered juju priestess from the old quarters. He hawked recharge cards by day, his voice soft against the bustle of Ring Road, until 5 girls staggered into the police post, their wrappers torn, their faces streaked with terror, pointing at him. "He raped us," they wailed, their voices curling into the humid air like smoke. The evidence was a sham. Blurry CCTV from a suya joint, a bead torn from his wrist in a scuffle they claimed was proof. Testimonies that shifted like shadows. But in a city where justice bends to whispers, the magistrate's hammer fell. 6 years in Kirikiri Maximum Security Prison. A true story stitched with lies and something far older. Kirikiri was a pit of despair, its rusted bars dripping with damp rot, the air thick with the stench of urine and fear. The inmates' eyes gleamed like hyenas as Osa stepped in, his bracelet clinking faintly, a sound that made the shadows twitch. "Rapist boy," they hissed, their voices echoing off the concrete like a chorus of spirits. A scarred giant lunged at him that first night, machete scar glinting, but recoiled with a scream. His hand blistered as if scorched. Osas stood still, whispering, "I know Duam," the bead pulsing with a dull red glow. The cell block grew quiet, the air heavy with unease. Something watched from the corners, something that wasn't human. Survival in Kirikiri demanded more than fists. It was a dance with madness. Osas learned fast, eyes down, ears sharp, mind sharper. In the yard, beneath a sky choked with dust, he met Eza, a lifer whose laugh rattled like bones and whose name meant king even among the damned. Eza's arms were a map of tattoos, his stare a blade, and tales said he'd once bargained with spirits to rule the prison's shadows. "You carry something," Eza muttered, nodding at the bracelet. "Did they talk?" Osas didn't argue. Together, they sifted through smuggled papers, court records, police lies, unraveling a case built on sand, timelines that bled into nonsense, a bead planted, girls paid to weep. But the real terror was outside. It began with the first girl, Amakaha. Her body washed up in the Lagos lagoon, bloated and eyeless, her tongue carved out, a warning scrawled in the mud. "Lie and die." The papers screamed Osas's name. Juju vengeance from a jail cell. Then he was locked up, and the deaths grew darker. Chioma's shack in Ashodi burned to ash, her charred remains clawing at the door, her screams swallowed by a wind that howled with voices. Blessing's head was found in a gutter, her body never recovered, her lawyer's car smashed by an unseen force, his chest caved in like a fist had punched through. The magistrate drowned in his own bathtub, face twisted in a silent scream, water black as ink. Even in Kirikiri, Osas felt it. The bead thrummed each time, warm against his skin, as if feeding on the blood spilled beyond the walls. Eza grinned through the bars. "Your mama no day play." Osas shivered, remembering her voice. "My son no fit suffer for nothing. Who touch you, go no fire." The killings weren't random. They were a reckoning. Inmates whispered of an old woman stalking the night, bent, cloaked in black, her eyes glowing like embers, her cackle a death knell. Guards found a warder who'd beaten Osas gutted in the latrine, his entrails spelling truth on the tiles. Osas and Ezi pressed on, dodging shivs and unseen claws, until the last girl, Nkechi, broke. She crawled to a church in Ikeja, bloodied and wild-eyed, clawing at the altar. "No woman attack me," she sobbed to a priest, her voice cracking the silence. "She say I must talk true. Free Osas." Her confession named no man, only a shadow with a woman's laugh, a blade and a command. The tape hit the news, and Kirikiri's gates groaned open after 4 years of torment. Osas stepped into the Lagos's night, the bead cold, the air buzzing with unseen eyes. But the old woman wasn't done. Nkechi's survival was a thread left dangling. Osas found the crone in a shack by the Obers River, its walls plastered with feathers and bones, the air choking with palm wine and decay. She turned, her face a labyrinth of scars, her smile a slash of teeth. "Dem lie on you," she rasped, handing him a rusted pistol. "Finish 'em." Nkechi's flat in Ajagonle was a tomb when he arrived, the power out, the air thick with the hum of flies. She whimpered from a corner, her eyes darting to shadows that moved without light. "I talk true," she begged. The bead flared, and Osas raised the gun. Double jeopardy. He couldn't be tried again. The shot split the night, her body slumping as the shadows sighed. The son of a Benin juju priestess, marked by a bead that burned liars to ash, walked free.